so we're still setting up. I'm just checking audio levels currently. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Definitely gonna have to work on the lighting situation here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. So it will take me some time to adjust a whole bunch of this stuff as far as audio levels go. So feel free to share any sort of feedback if you're watching the live or the replay. Okay, I've got way too much going on right now. And I can close out this. So this is my first time doing any sort of co-work or study with me type of thing. This is something I've wanted to do for about a week now, and I just kept putting it off every day. I was like, this is something I want to try. Mostly just because I like doing co-work type things. I've done it with friends, and it's been really helpful for a lot of people. And I really wanted to start getting into the process of doing this type of content. I might try it a few times. I might hate it. I might love it. I don't know. My whole intention is that I'm trying to do this regardless if anyone's watching. So if you are watching and you're just lurking, that's totally fine. But if you would like to participate in some of the like kind of progress, the accountability type of stuff, like feel free to use the chat to jump in and share some of the things you're working on, some of the progress, etc. I have a lot of stuff going on my desk right now. And so one of my first sessions is just going to be like cleaning slate and kind of getting clear what types of things I'm even working on. I'm allowing myself to be all over the place. I've only told like 3 people that I'm doing this, so the chances of anyone being here is pretty low, except for those people. So if you're around at some point, say hi. So the chance of like a rando finding this is pretty low. So my kind of loose format that I have in mind is that I'm going to be doing this in a couple segments. So on the right side of the screen is sort of the loose schedule that I have in mind, which is, I guess technically I'm in preamble mode, so all of this is like the very rough setup. Like I'm not too worried about it being pretty. I'm not too worried about it being automated. I'm just here to try and, oh, I should set that to live chat. Okay. Um, just here to kind of make progress, try some things, see what I need to change. Like the first thing that I noticed as far as things I need to change wasn't even on my radar of things I need to change, which is like me having the camera off to the side like this and just kind of occasionally seeing myself on the screen. I'm like, man, I have terrible posture. So like just little things I couldn't anticipate or expect. So it's like I'm going to be constantly doing like posture checks and things like that. But again, on the, oh my god, this is hard. On the right side is my schedule. So we just finished up the sort of initial setup. Now I'm in my preamble. I had a couple things I wanted to talk about, and then we're going to try 4 Pomodoro sessions, which are 25 minutes of deep work and then 5 minutes break. The 25-minute deep works are going to be no microphone, so I won't be talking. I might be chatting with anyone that's in the YouTube chat, the live chat. And then for 5 minutes, then we can do a little bit of check-ins. We can share progress. We can whatever, go to the bathroom, get some water, etc. And then after the 4 sessions, we'll do kind of a more in-depth deep dive as far as what kind of progress did we make. Again, I'm doing this regardless if there's anyone here, so I'm pretending like there is people when I'm talking here, just to get myself into the process of communicating and just being able to move forward regardless of who's here. And then if someone's here, that gets to make it that much more exciting and that much more fun. Okay, so preamble. We'll see if I actually need to talk about this much of this stuff now. So again, the whole impetus of this for me is getting better about taking some initiative and making some progress, regardless of things needing to be perfect or really well done. Like I'm not caring about perfection. I'm not caring about super high production quality or anything like that. Like I can just make gradual progress and making these tiny tweaks over time. That's going to be the thing that's actually going to move me forward. But for now, like even just this version, this episode, this attempt is just getting out of my comfort zone and just taking the action to move me forward, regardless of how good it's going to be. It's more about the action is ultimately what this is about. And the whole co-work and study with me type of format is going to follow that sort of impetus, which is action is like the ultimate goal. I know I'm doing this different than maybe some other creators out there, which is, as far as I know, they just kind of dive straight into deep work and the breaks and the Pomodoro stuff, but I'm kind of incorporating a little bit of insights and kind of podcast style chatting in the beginning, maybe, and then at the end. And the end can be largely influenced by interactions that I'm having with people live on chat, the types of progress that they're making, things that have been working for them, insights that are coming up, etc. So I want it to be a little bit more communal and collaborative, but to have sort of the deep work segments a little bit more separated so that we can still at least get some things done. Another thing I was noticing is there's like so many decisions that I want to make about how I want to do things and how I want to change things, but these are all like decisions for like episode 7, and like I don't need to worry about any of those types of decisions until I get closer to that. So the only types of decisions I want to be working on right now are just like what's relevant to today, what's relevant to right now, what's relevant to this session. This is also a process for me of building self-trust. Like if I can see myself actually going through the process of doing this type of co-work thing and liking it, I'm going to build a little bit more self-trust in that process. And a big thing for me, because I think I might have ADHD, is like I need to retrain this part of myself that like basically I've lost trust in my ability to get things done. And so these are like bite-sized ways for me to at least make some progress and be a little bit focused and hold myself accountable in the process as well. Because if I can start seeing progress of myself doing some of the things, then that'll sort of like feed itself moving forward. I will be keeping track of some of my tasks over here. This will get cleaned up because this is way too much for me to even like kind of acknowledge. If you are here and you would like me to kind of keep track and some accountability, you let me know in chat what you're working on. That'll be up there. My goal is to like have a maximum of 3 things that I'm working on, and I don't know how I'm going to list things on the side as far as like I'm going to keep track of everything I did today, or do I really just only want to see the things that I still have yet to do? I don't know how I'll figure that out later. Another reason why I want to do this for myself is just me having to stream is going to force me to really block out distractions, because I can't just like randomly put on a YouTube video on my computer, because like if I'm playing music, then you're going to hear the random YouTube video. So that will probably happen if my like distracting habits or like kick in randomly. But the goal for me is to like knowing that I'm streaming, knowing that I'm, you know, creating this space for people, that'll help me block out those tendencies to distract. And that's where the whole Pomodoro technique I think will be really useful, is like knowing that I'm only deep working for 25 minutes and then I'll have a 5-minute break that I can maybe check messages on my phone or whatever. That'll maybe help me stay focused, and I hope that will help you as well. Another aspect is getting out of my head and getting myself into action and like actually doing the things. Like I've lived in my head, I've been so cerebral for so long, and I am wanting to basically get out of that and use formats like this to help facilitate some of those habits in creating momentum inside of my body instead of like living in my head so much. And then lastly, I'm working on getting more comfortable with communication and speaking about topics and things that are coming up from a genuine, authentic place. There's a lot of like communication things that I'm very I know I'm getting better at, but I want to improve on as well. So using this whole platform is going to be helpful for me in kind of working on some of those practices and being able to become aware of it, because I can look at the replay and analyze and look at and observe how I'm actually showing up. Like I know my posture is probably really weird right now, and like my speaking might not feel as good, and those are all things that I want to work on as well. But just in general, just getting better at being authentic, showing up a little bit more authentically, and being more genuine in my communications and sharing and all of that. I didn't have this one listed, but just the last bit is just like allowing it to be messy. Like, again, my first focus block is just going to be cleaning off my desk and getting really clear what I want to use the remainder of the sessions for. I should have set a timer for 5 minutes so that I could like feel how long 5 minutes actually takes if I'm preambling or rambling. But yeah, allowing myself to be messy, like still having the deliberate intention to, you know, make things pretty or make things clean, you know, make it better for people, but also like allowing it to be messy, because that's kind of a little bit more of the reality of things. All right, let's move on from the preamble. Again, if you're hanging out, make sure to put in the live chat anything you want to keep track of. Eventually, I've seen some streamers will use some extensions to be able to just, you can use a command and it'll automatically add it to it. I'm not at that point yet. Again, that's what preamble point 1 and 2 of that's not a decision for me to make right now, and I'm just focusing on tiny actions and tiny tweaks and just doing things in the bare bones, most simple manner, rather than feeling like I have to like get everything perfect before I even start. So let's put 25 minutes on the clock, and my first focus is just going to be cleaning up my physical space and then the digital space, so that I can have fewer things to focus on and only knock out the things that are relevant right now, critical right now, or just critical in general. 25 minutes. All right. See you guys on the other side. All right, that is our first block. See if I can. It's going to be an easier way to do this eventually, but for now. So this will be our first break. 5 minutes. I noticed that tidying always takes a little bit longer than I anticipate. So I'll probably spend the next session on doing that same thing, but with all my digital stuff. So I made some progress on the physical side, cleaning my office and my bedroom a little bit. That feels good. Still have a little bit left to do, but having the 25-minute deep work block was really helpful, just to like stay on task, knowing that I was eventually going to pause and have a break. Ollie, hey, that's so good to see you. I didn't think anyone from like my subscribers would be here. This is my first time doing a live stream on YouTube. How are you doing? It's been a while. I'm currently doing a kind of co-work with me, study with me type of format. I've seen a couple other creators do something like it, and it's something I've always wanted to do. And I've hosted co-works in the past, and but they've always just been on Zoom. And this felt like a good chance, an opportunity for me to be able to just kind of create openly into the void instead of feeling like it always has to be behind closed doors like on Zoom. And it's good practice for me of just like communicating and sharing things regardless if there's any viewers or not. He said, I'm alright, just got home from art therapy. Ooh, that's cool. Art therapy. What does that entail? I'm kind of curious about that. Art therapy sounds interesting. Is it like something you do? Sounds like you just got home from it. It sounds like a facilitated type of thing, so that's what I'm curious about. And if you are wanting to participate in co-work stuff, you're welcome to share. God, the directions are hard on this. You know, one thing you're working on, or a few things that you're working on, and we'll check in every 25 minutes or so. We're doing a break right now, and I keep forgetting to update all the thingies. Too many things on my desk to get in the way. Yes, it is facilitated in person mostly. She either gives me a specific prompt or something to focus art on with therapy intentions, or sometimes it's just a thing to keep my hands busy while we talk. I'm going to go take a nap, but so good to see you again. Proud of you for trying. Thank you. Yeah, that's cool. That art, I don't know, it's like that prospect of just like kind of being able to use art as a way to process things sounds really intriguing. So hopefully that's been going well. Hope your nap goes well. Hopefully I'll see you around again. But thanks for stopping by and offering some encouragement. All right, we will begin session number 2 out of 4. I'm gonna focus on continuing to declutter all the digital or task stuff, which I guess is digital. And work on my posture. All right. Up on to our next break. Gotta figure out a better microphone situation. I'm still working through all of my task decluttering, realizing just how much nonsense there is in my brain at all times. I've been utilizing my strategy called a parking lot, so I just have a whole page dedicated for dumping all of my notes and tasks that I need to like take all this paper and move it into digital, and also to get my, I'm even wearing these, I don't need those, and also to keep my side quests at bay. Like my main task, whatever I'm working on, needs to be my primary focus. And the parking lot allows me to get like, oh, I need to do laundry, and I can just put that on here, and then ideally I come back to it and revisit it and have a chunk at the end of the day where I'm actually making progress on the parking lot. That doesn't always happen, and so that's one of my areas to improve on. Have a break. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm like overthinking. I'm supposed to be doing stuff. Weird. It's almost like now I'm annoyed at having a break so that I could keep going. But if I allow myself to actually take a break, maybe I'll actually appreciate the work and like want to like dig in a little bit more. Not to say that I can't also just ignore the break and keep working. But if I know that there is this decompression moment between deep work sessions, the 25-minute sprints, then maybe that'll actually keep encouraging me. We'll see how this evolves. Suggestion. The current bit rate is 0. That's accurate. I'll add that to my parking lot. Hello there. How's it going? We're currently just ending a break for the second session. We're about to go into another 25 minutes, so if you want to let us know what you're working on, I can add it to the list. All right. All right, we'll start our third focus block. See you on the other side.
Say something.
Alright, that's another break session. And 25 minutes always goes quick, but I'm noticing each time that I do it, I get a little bit like calmer in my body and it doesn't feel as terrible. Oops. Okay, that. I'm realizing just how important it is to like be consistent on a daily basis with certain procedures, because like my task lists have like just ballooned in size because I don't go back and delete a bunch of stuff, which explains a lot of the overwhelm that I'm currently facing. So this is a good practice on, you know, just I know it's taking most of my co-work deep work sessions, but it's feeling really good to go in and delete a bunch of things and kind of deprioritize a bunch and get really clear for myself on what is actually the priority. Reminding myself not to overthink too much about the prospect of like having, you know, a nice Notion layout or whatever. It's clean-ish, but it's not like super pretty. Like I want something simple. There is a lot on here. I'm feeling, you know, there's some initial like guilt and stress around it being like bloated, and also some like guilt and stress around like not using it daily. And the thing I have to keep reminding myself is like not to do that, first of all, but then also to like just revisit the things that are here, like the things you've built, the things you've made, the processes that you know have been helpful in the past. Like just come back to it and revisit and reutilize it, like dust it off a little bit and then just use it. Like don't make a big story out of it. It's a big learning or big like retraining. So going through this process has helped me kind of reset and kind of simplify my focus. So my like 3 things for today that I chose is like the 3 things I'm just focusing on. Like I'm not even feeling not being too hard on myself on like not making it like the super big ambitious thing or whatever. So the 3 things for me are hosting my experienceography call, so that happened earlier today, and then doing the stream. That was like kind of tying them together, but I could have easily done that as 1 and 2, but blocking them together because they're kind of correlated. So I did my call. Obviously I'm doing the stream right now, and there's like one final task that I would like to do in experienceography before I consider that whole task completed. And this is the task that usually I'll just like keep putting off all week until it gets to be like the day before the call or even the day of the call. So if I can do that now, that'll simplify so much in terms of, or no, not necessarily simplify. Simplifying is the thing that I'm doing and kind of consolidating stuff from the last call, but more specifically, it'll relieve some of the pressure that I have created on myself. And then number 2, there's a writing article that I drafted last night. It's pretty much almost complete. I just want to like edit it and make sure it's decent enough to post, and then figure out if I'm gonna put a picture to it or not. And then task number 3 is just doing this deep purge of tasks. Like that feels important because it has been overwhelming. Maybe not the most critical or most important as far as things that are going to move me forward, but it's at least kind of relieving the pressure and like good practice of me just utilizing the system. So it's more process oriented for that one than being critical. And then I still have some kind of lingering tasks that I could potentially work on after, but like my focus is like, can I do these 3 things first before I add a 4th thing or a 5th thing? Like I have to do all of these. I have to at least do something before I can replace it. But ideally I'm doing all 3 before I've even considered what's next, because I've like identified these as like, well, they're kind of important. So that's gonna be what I'll work on. See if I can at least get the experienceography thing done and have the deep purge of tasks done in this next block is the goal. All right, let's move on to block number 4.
Say something. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay,
All right, we are going to end this session a little bit earlier. That way I can go eat after I finish my thoughts and all the things. All right, so definitely the Pomodoro technique and live streaming, that combo helped a lot with keeping me on task. In the past, the Pomodoro technique definitely didn't really work for me, but I think because there wasn't this like level of commitment to the actual task. So me showing up and doing it live, I think there was something about that that was helpful. And maybe it's just like the fun nature of setting up the stream, updating the little doodads, which I forgot to do. This one over here. So we're in the celebrate and vibe section. So I definitely will eventually need to have a better system, but for starters, this felt pretty decent as far as just like starting it. Like it's more put together than I was expecting on like a day one type of thing. So I feel pretty good about that. I did not get to my writing. That was one of the tasks that I wanted to do. This is one of the things I was resisting, but I knew that there was going to be this really steep like speed bump to get over with kind of getting back into the flow of things. And so I feel really happy so far about the progress I've been able to make. I had some of you showed up a little bit and chatted for a little bit. That was fun. I was like, literally expecting 0 people. The people that I did sort of expect weren't available, probably because I started a little bit later than I had said I would, which is fine. But the goal for me is to keep doing this. So far, I'm gonna just like keep doing it until I don't want to do it anymore, or until I like evolve it into something else. I don't know if I'll move over to Twitch or if I'll stay on YouTube, but for now, this seems like a good enough spot for me. I'm not too worried about like growth or anything like that, but if someone's watching this and wants to see more, like let me know in the comments or find a way to DM me or subscribe, whatever. Having some interaction is fun, but I'm doing this primarily for me to create that momentum and then holding that space for other people to also have that kind of encouragement and that extra nudge to work on it as well. But being able to collaborate and kind of cooperate in our mutual pursuits would be very, very fun. So yeah, I am going to shift into dinner time. I was thinking about, doing more of this, but I think in order to prevent myself from like burning out immediately, I'm going to like end it when I'm a few hours in. And that'll be kind of extra nudge and incentive for me to start it again tomorrow because it was fun, it was exciting. And if I still feel inspired to keep working, then I'm just going to do that. I just won't stream it. And then kind of work my way into finding a flow that feels good. Because I think I would probably just enjoy doing this more often, just the streaming, the talking through things, and getting to connect with people. I think I will enjoy that. But I'm not going to push it tonight. The other thing I was thinking, I'm listening to some lo-fi music right now and having that going on in the background. Like I want to start sort of conditioning my brain a little bit to associate this playlist, this set of music, this type of music to like I'm working, I'm focusing. So whether it's writing, whether it's streaming and co-working, whatever, like can I kind of connect it and kind of reserve it for being in focus mode, like doing deep work, so that when I turn it on, it's sort of like priming the brain a little bit more, kind of like a Pavlovian conditioning technique, whatever. And then maybe later I'll explore different music, but for now this works. So if anyone's around, thanks for hanging out. Hope you had a productive day. If you're watching the replay, thanks for hanging out this far. And let me know if you enjoyed this or how you enjoyed it, what worked for you, what you made progress on, all the things. And I will see you in a future session. Have a good day.